Friday night game. So we're had a good practice. We're working hard to keep our players focused. After an emotional win, it's important that they come back and practice well in preparation for Friday night's game. There's not many areas that we're altering and preparing to play on the road. I know that question will probably get brought up, but we will prepare just like we have any other week, and our players understand that, and so we're just looking forward to another good week of practice and traveling and playing the first game on the road.
Coach Gundy, do you have a concern about playing on Friday nights and competing with high school football?
Not really. One, we can't control it, and it's scheduled, and those discussions took place maybe 6, 8, 10 months ago about having a Thursday night game following with a Friday night game and then getting back on schedule. And so we thought it would be good for the university and for our football program to schedule the games the way they are, and so we'll play them as is.
You got any concerns about taking, I think you get about a dozen starters who never played or never started in a road game, and a ton of young guys who've never even been on the road.
I think you're always concerned about that, and hopefully the other players that have traveled and played on the road would help them through that. But again, it's not going to change at this point, and so as a coaching staff, we have to do a good job of getting them prepared and find a way to make them understand that once we get out there and we kick it off, it's the same. And I think they'll be fine. I think they understand the importance of it.
The atmosphere in this game is not like the ones they played in this far. As people, are you worried about them as getting up for the game or staying up after it begins?
I hope not. I think that most of them are probably pretty tuned in to what goes on across the country. I'm sure they watch highlights and read the internet, read the newspaper, and whatever it may be. And so I think they're very aware of preparation for no matter who you play each week. And again, that's part of our job as a coaching staff to make sure they have good practice. But I think that they understand the importance of each game, and I think that one advantage in the youth of this team is they are probably not secure enough with themselves to overlook anybody that we're playing. So that should work to our advantage.
Mike, as the head coach, being accountable to both sides of the ball, when you have a 40-play discrepancy in snaps, how do you manage that as a CEO, knowing that the defense is obviously not thrilled about being out there for 106 plays and the offense is only out there for 68? How do you manage that as the chief executive officer to both sides?
Well, first, our offense had too many 3-and-outs early in the game, and the defense allowed too many 3rd and long and 4th down conversions. And so then you take into account early in the 3rd quarter when the offense was scoring quick, or the middle way of the 3rd quarter, 3rd and longs, 4th down conversions, and offense 3-and-outs, and then scoring quickly. And all that contributed to that. So I don't know that there's an answer. We want to score a lot of points, but we want the defense to not be on the field more than it has to. So we just continue to try to work together. That was just an unusual situation.
Does this week remind you of the Detroit week 3 years ago?
Not really.
Friday game, Sun Belt opponent, or being so much more settled now? That's the big.
Oh, I mean, I hadn't really thought about that, but it's a different team, and these guys need to prepare and get ready to go play in a game.
Coach, you're really going to get extra preparation for 3 games. You were on a bye week going into A&M, and you play Louisiana-Lafayette on a Friday and then back to Saturday next week. Do you enjoy that as a coach as far as game planning and getting ready for teams?
Well, the open week is good for several reasons. We've discussed that for the last 2 weeks. A Friday night game and a Thursday night game can be somewhat disruptive in your schedule. Coaches are creatures of habit. We do the same thing every day, all the time, same time schedule. So it throws us off a little bit. But we've already made those decisions, and that's the way the schedule will be. And after this week, for the most part, we'll be back on a normal schedule.
Mike, are you fairly pleased with where you guys are right now this season? I mean, a lot of people at the beginning of the year kind of wrote you guys off as much of a threat to Big 12 South, yet here you are 4-0 now and ranked in both top 25s.
Well, we're pleased that we're 4-0. We still have a long ways to go in all three phases, and we improved in some areas, and then there were other areas we didn't improve as much as we needed to in order to continue to perform throughout the season. We want to be better in this game than we were the last one, and improve and let some of these young guys mature and grow, and we're getting good play from our veteran guys. We mentioned Hugo and being the player of the week, and we're getting good play from Kendall and so on and so forth. So guys that have some experience are doing a good job of leading the rest of them, but we still have a ways to go. We need every day that we can for practice and preparation, and we need to stay healthy and keep them playing at a high level.
Mike, you said after the game that there was a point in the first quarter we looked out there and you had some guys limping around and you were a little bit concerned. Do you feel like you guys crossed a bridge at some point in the game?
Well, we'll find out, because we'll be in a difficult situation at some point for the rest of the year. I don't know when it may be, but chances are that we're going to be in a situation where guys have to toughen up a little bit. But we just had too many guys that were acting like they were kind of hurt, and I wasn't particularly pleased personally with the demeanor of our football team at that time. And I think that part of that's youth, and part of it was the first time that we had really been in that situation. But fortunately, they were able to persevere, come out of it, and hopefully it'll help them grow so we're not in that situation again. And if we're in it, that they handle it a different way.
Mike, you've won 5 straight games that have been decided by a touchdown or less. Does that say anything about your program? Does that have any significance to you that you've won your last 5 in a row that were close?
We'd like to think that winning a close game and coming from behind will benefit your team as the season progresses, and certainly should help you in practice and in talking to the team about how important preparation is and all those areas. To keep playing the next play and don't worry about what's happened, because you can't change it. So we hope that our players learned a lot from that game and the other ones that we've been in that were close, and in the end they found a way to win the football game.
But you just flipped it, because like in 06, remember those 4 games you had where you're throwing it in the end zone?
You're bringing back a lot of memories I don't recollect. Those have gone out.
You're throwing it in the end zone at Tech, you're throwing it in the end zone in Bedlam,
Mhm.
and Kansas State, and those came up short. Now you've just flipped it. You're winning those now.
And that goes back. There's really not a lot to talk about other than the good news is that they found a way to win those games. And I mentioned to you guys last year and in the summer when there was a lot of talk about the youth of our team that personally I was able to hang my hat on their stability in our program in all areas, and the academics, the strength conditioning, the performance, the practice, everything, the recruiting that I think is important personally in the success of us and the direction we're going. And hopefully that's contributing to us winning those games, different than 4 years ago.
Mike, what would you say has been the key to being able to fill some of the voids for some of the guys that have gone on to the NFL, and it seems like you've been able to fill those voids as well?
I think that Coach Young and the philosophy that our staff has on defense now for 2 years has helped us. I think it gives us a chance to allow younger players to play at a higher tempo. And I think the change that we made on offense is going to give us a chance to allow guys that may have not been able to perform in our other system that we had, a chance to perform in this system and give us a little more variety and depth. I think those 2 areas have been very important to the success that we've had in this year where we are compared to being really, really talented and mature last year.
How much would you say just evaluation and the recruiting process comes into it? Because Jackson Blackman wasn't a Roderick Brown wasn't due to the recruiting? I mean,
Recruiting is not a perfect science. We've had those discussions many times, and it's interesting. You bring 20 in on an average a year, and you try to hit on 12 of those 20. Because over a 4-year period, if you hit on 12 of them, then that means you have 48 players that are really good players. And if you have 48 players that are really good players, you're too deep, which you're going to be a really good football team. And you always try to predict who those guys will be. Some of them are no-brainers. The Des Bryant is a no-brainer. And then you bring in an Andrew Lewis that most people wouldn't have given a chance to have much success, who was a good player. But then we've also brought in some other guys that were pretty highly recruited that didn't end up being as good as what people thought. So the evaluation of how much they really like football and how tough they are, to answer your question, is very important. And so our coaches have done a good job of that in the past. We're going to miss on some guys, and then there'll be some that miss on us. I mean, it goes both ways. But you just need to hit on about 60% over a 1-year period, and then if you stay in the program long enough, eventually you should have enough numbers to have success.
Mike, in the excitement of the win the other night, did you get asked about the 40-win milestone? Because, Pat Jones, who you played for, passed that. And Jim Lookabaugh is the only other one. You're just the third coach to win 40 games at the school.
That's the first
about that at all?
It's the first I've heard of it. Just now, I was not aware of that until you brought that up. So I really hadn't thought about it. I'll have to think about it now. But I had not thought much about it. And quite honestly, if you guys have known me for a number of years, those things really aren't important to me. I like to win a lot of football games here because that means that the players are having success. That means that the other coaches are having success. That means that administration's selling tickets and everybody's happy. So those milestones really aren't very important to me. But I'm glad that our team and the program's having success.
At the same time, you were asked earlier about the stability. I mean, that is kind of part of the stability equation. If you had won 40 games, if it was a lot less, you might not be looking for 41 this week.
Well, no, that's right. And then the society and the time and age of college football and coaches, and that's part of it. And that's why I'm saying I'm glad that we're at that point so everybody else can have success. But it's not something that I'll think about when I walk out of this room. I'll be more concerned about how the guys practice today than any individual milestone.